Hey everyone, this is the Legendary Orchid, and I'm going to be going ahead and starting up a new game. So there's a game out there that some people may know about, some people may not. It's called Dwarf Fortress. It is actually a really interesting little game. It's been developed since, if I remember right, 2006. Or it may have been developed since 2002, but it didn't actually hit its first release until 2006. It was originally developed by two dudes who essentially just kind of decided to code it and make up a game. It's a really entertaining game. People who have watched it before or who have played it before kind of understand what I mean by it's really entertaining. There's a lot of death and destruction that tends to happen whenever you play these games. So I would like to actually do a nice little let's play on it. So we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a minute. So Dwarf Fortress, whenever you start it up, it tends to be... Forgot that it actually has sound to it. Sometimes I play it on a laptop that does not have sound, so I forget about that. But Dwarf Fortress, as we watched in a nice little piece here, is a game about dwarves in a fortress. Kind of really weird that it would be that way, but you know, dwarves, fortresses, Dwarf Fortress makes really kind of, you know, I guess sense. Alright, and as you can notice, there's pickaxes, there's things like that. This is actually one of the games that really kind of got Notch into making Minecraft, which was kind of the reason why I wanted to try it out. Also because I had heard from a friend of mine how hard this game was, and if it's a hard game, I like to play it. So there's a little bit about this. First of all, that this is all done normally in ASCII characters. You would normally just see H's, I's, etc., 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 all around the screen. It's kind of hard to understand what's going on if you haven't been playing it a lot. Some people actually absolutely love playing it in ASCII characters. I, however, do not. So what I do is I use a special set of graphics known as, known as DFG, or Dwarf Fortress Graphics, and it is made by a guy named Mike Mayday, who he actually works and makes these nice little pictures so that it makes it a little bit easier to understand what's going on the screen. The other thing you see here is the Dwarf Therapist. The Dwarf Therapist is a nice little program that I'll be running in the background, which I'll be flipping back and forth to all the time. And what the Dwarf Therapist does is it essentially just walks through and checks on dwarves and stuff like that, so you can kind of see what they're doing, what they're thinking, how they feel, etc., 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 and what they're really good at, what they're bad at, and you can kind of make a better feel for how your fortress is going. It also allows you to change up jobs on the fly very, very quickly. So rather than having to go through long, arduous menus, which this game is filled with long, arduous menus, by the way, it is absolutely ridiculous sometimes. It's kind of actually absolutely a pain in the butt if I were to even sit here and attempt to do that. So rather than having to do that, I'm actually just going to be sitting here using Dwarf Therapist. It's way easier, and both of these are just executables. Now, I actually run this on my Linux computers normally, and my Linux computers can actually handle all this good stuff, and it's actually a really good indie game for using on almost any type of computer and testing it out real quick. But we're going to be using the Windows version just because, one, I absolutely love my Windows computer, and two, because, you know, it's Dwarf Fortress and I want to record it and do some stuff with it. So it's way easier to do it on here where I actually do have sound. It's another one. So we're going to create a new world. Histories of cupidity and perseverance, which perseverance is something we're going to need a lot of. Welcome to the Alpha of Dwarf Fortress. We'll make medium or large. I don't really know what size world I want to go. Let's go with a large world. We'll go with a medium length history. There's going to be a medium number of civilizations. Everything's good except for this. We're going to increase the minerals to frequent. Just because I like to have plenty of minerals and stuff like that. It's going to make things a lot easier. So first thing we're going to have to do, whenever you see up at the top there, it says create a world right here. This is what we're doing, is basically just creating this world. So the world size, history, etc., all the way down and across here. Now this game is actually played not with the mouse. So you're going to see my mouse essentially just staying put wherever it is, because it's mostly played actually with whoa, I'm making things a little bit harder. It's actually played normally with your keyboard. The keyboard is way easier to move around. You can see it says down here Y for go, escape to abort, and then you can use the nice little number keys to select, or if you absolutely prefer, which I do, you use just the arrow keys and enter, which makes it easy. But one thing we do have to do is we have to generate the world. Now it's procedurally generated just like Minecraft is, which means that it's going to generate up whenever I start this up. And this is just how you basically select what's going to end up happening. So let's go ahead and start this. Alright, so we had 16 different worlds get rejected at the beginning here. That's what you see up there at the... Whoa. This thing had, because it's forming such a large world, it's taking a lot longer. So we had 16 different worlds get rejected. That's what that nice little piece is right up in there. It says how many worlds that didn't make it into the final cut here. And so this one is called the Planet of Enchantment. Kind of an interesting name for it, I guess. But it's forming the lakes and minerals, which if it's a large world is going to take a lot. This is actually run in 32-bit, which means that even though I have a pretty good computer here, running it's not running in 64-bit anyway, so it takes a little bit more work for it to run. Alright, so it's going to be generating up years of history. If you have played Dwarf Fortress before, you kind of know what I mean by years of history, but if you look over here, it's generating up every year here for the last... I don't remember how long I set it for. If I set it for medium, then it's going to be 250 years of history, which means I'm going to be cutting this a little bit shorter than 250 years. I'm probably going to cut it at about 125 years just to be safe. Because you only really need about 125 years of history for it to actually have. Because you can see there's almost 23,000 historical figures already, and that's not even year 100. All right, and that's just turning year 100. Almost 24,000 historical figures, a lot of dead people, a lot of events that have happened, all kinds of craziness. Alright, so this is for the human fortress of Zob Shaguf, the Dune of Cats. And we're almost up to year 110, 111. Even with a high-powered computer, everything is going to be slow. It just takes a long time. Well, with as large of world as I'm generating, it's going to take a long time to generate, which is entertaining, but all the more irrelevant here. It just means that we're just going to have to pause or finish this a little bit early. And we'll let it get to year 125 before I pause it. There we go. Year 126. That looks good. Year 127. Alright. We'll go ahead and use the world as it currently exists. It's going to make everything. And check this out. So this is the Gulf of Focusing. You see kind of what the world looks like. It's kind of big right now. It's actually very, very big. There's a lot of water though. Alright, so it looks pretty cool though. I would say that actually works. And let's go ahead and accept it. So now it has to offload all the units. Basically what it's doing is it's dumping all the units that it just procedurally generated to a nice little folder known as region. And in region 1, that's where we're going to be basically working out of for our first little fortress here. So let's go ahead and set this up, synchronize all the folders, get everything set, and it's not going to respond for a bit because it's got so much work to do. But this game, for those of you who haven't really seen it or played with it or done anything with it before, the game is really easy. You're just taking care of dwarves in a fortress, and the game's actual motto is losing is fun. Now that actually goes along with the entire mathematics of Dwarf Fortress, which is that Dwarf Fortress is fun and Dwarf Fortress is losing, which means that losing is fun. And when I say Dwarf Fortress is losing, I mean that this game is literally how long can you last before you lose the game. No matter how long you think you can go, if you try, you're going to eventually lose. It's what's going to happen. You're going to lose the game, and then you're going to have to restart, and then you're going to have to lose the game again, then you'll restart. And if you can make it through this game without losing, without having some type of fun, as they call it, you're going to end up You just haven't played for long enough. That's really just the bottom line. You either are going to lose or you just haven't played long enough to lose yet. But you will eventually lose. And that's just the fun of the game. If you actually look up a lot of the Wikipedia articles and stuff like that on the game, you'll see that there's actually a Wikipedia article known as fun. And the term fun is basically every single way you can lose this game, which is a lot of ways. So let's go ahead and start losing. Alright, so there's a whole bunch of different game modes here. Actually, there's only really two that you would ever worry about, is Dwarf Fortress and Adventure. Adventure is kind of like a roguelike RPG, where Rogue would be like the little piece where you're going up, down, left, right, moving around, hitting buttons. You're just doing an RPG, and it's a lot of fun, but it's way more fun to do Dwarf Fortress first. And the reason is because whenever you do Adventure and you're working in the region, which, again, we're working in Region 1 right now, whenever you're working in that region, if you happen to, play a bunch of games of Dwarf Fortress and make a whole bunch of fortresses, and then you decide to play, after you've lost a whole bunch of fucking games, you go and play Adventure, you could actually go find those old fortresses of yours and go kill the beasts that ended up taking over your fortress, which, after not too long, will be some pretty entertaining beasts. So, it gets pretty fun. So, Dwarf Fortress is what we'll play. This is the Histories of Jealousy and Labor. Sorry, I burped right into the mic, and I do not mean to do that. This is the Histories of Jealousy and Labor, and we're going to go look for a place to live. Oh, this is actually not bad right here already. Conifer Forest. It's got some clay, which clay is really good to have for underground mining. There's a little bit of soil. There's some shallow metal, deep metal, and flux stone, which is all stuff that you kind of do need. I do not want aquifers. Aquifers are bad, okay? Alright, so let's go with here, and let's change up the local area. Some soil. Okay, that's actually what I would like right there. Alright. Now, whenever you do this, you actually can use some of these nice little old embark profiles, which some of them are pretty nice. I prefer to actually prepare for the journey carefully, because I would like to see what type of people I have. Well, we're going to need a miner, at very least. We have a lot of points, actually, which I'm not quite sure why. But we'll find out in a minute. So we have quite a bit of points, so let's go ahead and make a miner all the way to proficient, because he's going to be useful. We're going to need somebody who can cut wood, and he's probably going to need to do some growing and herbalism. Okay, so next, strangely enough, I'm going to have an engraver slash mason, a carpenter, who can actually do very, very good work, and having him be able to do mechanic work can get me traps early on in. I need somebody who can design buildings. I'm probably going to need a whole bunch of other stuff too. I don't know. Let's see what we've got. I could make an appraiser. Actually, that's really good to get. But I think I messed up. Yeah, I did, because I didn't need him to be our happy guy. I need him to be, he could be our brewer, actually. That would be good to have him. And then our last two dudes we can make into some good things. Stuff like a leader. This is a big one. And this is a big one. so that I can actually keep records of stuff. Now, I'm running out of points here, which means that I don't have a whole lot of stuff. So I need to actually sell some stuff off to get some more points. So I'm gonna sell one of those. I'm gonna sell some bags, some cloth. Never ever sell food. It can come in handy. You can get rid of a crutch, a splint, and a bucket. Not a bucket, but a crutch and a splint is fine. Alright. Now let's go back over to my dwarfies. And our last one. So he's just a peasant right now. We're gonna need some stuff. So having a stone crafter is actually helpful because we can get somebody who's good at making stuff early on in the game. Some bowyer, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna call it. Bowyer, fucking, I don't give a shit. Alright, building designer, yeah, I've already got one. Wood burner and furnace operators, actually okay. And I've got 4 more skills I can work with. So let's give my miner, no, because I want somebody who's going to be essentially just a stand-up miner. He's an engraver. Let's give him the ability to metalsmith and armorsmith. And we're going to need an ambusher and a butcher, actually, would probably be okay. Alright, so that'll give us a lot. So now we need a name, right? We can't just have it be anything. So right now it's called Crystal Save, which is kind of a crappy name for it. So now it's Age Save, but that's still not a good one. We're going to need a better name than that. Age Death. Not Death Save. That makes perfect sense, actually. Death. I don't know. Death Buttered. That's it. Death Butter. Death Butter, but we need a the. Death Butter the balls. The balls of, oh no, no. Because it's the balls of beetles. We're going to call it the balls of beetles. I don't know why I'm taking so much time to do this. Of bees, not even beetles, bees. The balls of bees. I think that makes complete sense. Done. Alright. So now we need a person's name here. We're going to need to nickname somebody, right? And who better than nickname? Than me. Our leader, right? C. Customize nickname. There we go. The Orchid Storming Toll. Perfect. And let's go ahead and embark with my dwarves. You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek is finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Kishamaful. I have no... Kishamaful? Whatever. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the dingoes get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Reshek Biban Aguk Death Butter, the balls of bees. Strike the earth. Good enough. Let's strike the earth. Alright, so I like to change up my interface just a little bit so that we can see, you know, first of all, what menu I'm in. Ooh, it's very, very wooded here. Okay, so let's show you guys a little bit about what we're looking at here if you don't really know. These are my dwarfies. Those little guys right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is my wagon that I came in on. And I'm going to move that out of the way. And if I look at it, you'll see wagon with some grass beneath it and stuff. And you can see actually if you look here, that's the top level, then the next level underneath that. So we have a wagon, then underneath that is a shrub, stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of stuff here. Dense arrow bamboo, dense grass. All right. Now you guys are seeing some down arrows, I'm sure, which areas like this. What those are just little like ramps, essentially, like a downward ramp. So if you can think about this, we're looking at the earth as it's cut flat. So each level I go up or down. So I'm gonna go down a level and down a level, up a level, etc. So this is now below the point where I'm looking at here, and then that's below that. So I'm on top of a hill, essentially, is where I would be. So all my dwarves are on top of this hill here. This is water here, which I'm pretty sure you can figure out. That's fucking blue. So if you can't figure that out, then probably not the best game for you to be playing yet. Try something a little bit more, your level, if I could say that. But some people probably a lot smarter than I am. Fucking won't be. I don't know. This is one of those games that you really should not be your first video game, I suppose. Or maybe you should. I don't know. There are some people who like these kind of things. Anyway, so yep, this is basically like downhill slopes right here. So this is all downhill slopes, and then down below that, on this level, you can see the uphill slopes that it takes to get up here. So my dwarves are somewhere in this area around here. They're just kind of hanging out. So more than likely what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to bring my dwarves down here because it's probably a little bit better for me to have them down. And find a decent home. So this is actually a really, really large open area, or not a large open area. This is really a large, like, in the earth area, and there's a lot of water down inside here, which water's good and bad. I don't know. I don't like having water around my base a lot. Oh, this is actually not bad right here. Just because I can tend to accidentally delve into something I'm not supposed to. But that being said, I can also take us down deep into the earth where the water won't be nearly as affecting of us. There's white sand all around here. Sand is obviously good if you've played Minecraft for making glass. I think it works the same way in this game, but I'm not 100% sure. I've not really done anything with glass, so I have no idea. There's still a lot to this game that I don't understand, and I'm going to die a horrible, horrible death here very, very quickly. So please forgive me if I do something completely stupid in my dwarfy ways. So first, I would think that the best idea is for me to move my dwarfies down to here and have them start working. I'm not sure where, though. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and bring them down to here, at the very, very least. Let's go ahead and have them cut away. So to do some stuff, you can see that there's a whole bunch of nice little letters on the side here. And I'm pretty much just going to be hitting the letters. I'll talk to you about it essentially as I go through as to what I'm doing. Just kind of give you a heads up. It's because I can't click. Like, clicking doesn't do anything, so it doesn't matter. So I actually have to hit the buttons. But for instance, I'm going to do designation. Designations allows me to kind of designate areas to do things at. And I'm going to do the remove up and down stairs / ramps, which is the Z key. So you can see like there's ramps all around here. Oh, I don't really want to ramp down it. I guess I could go underneath that. Okay. So I'm going to ramp down into here, like you're seeing now. And I'm going to cut away all these ramps. I'm also going to mine, which is the D key as well. And I'm going to mine away all this dirt right through here. While I'm doing that, I'm actually going to come back up to, I don't know, I'm going to drop down to this level here because this is going to be way easier to use. Alright, so I'm also going to designate trees, which to chop down. So you can see, if you look at the little right side, you'll see like my my little piece moves between mine and trees, mine, trees. So you could kind of see what I'm kind of doing for the moment. So I'm just going to designate all these trees to get cut down, which there were no trees whatsoever in that area, which, you know, sometimes that happens, I guess. So yeah, there's some trees right there. So that's what I would like. I need trees. Just cutting down trees provides wood. Wood provides, you know, all kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to need all these trees cut down. I'm going to need a wood stockpile made, but I'm not going to worry about that until I get a little bit more down into the earth. Just a place to put all the wood that is about to happen. I'm also going to go ahead and start gathering some plants because I have an herbalist, and he's got nothing to do right now anyway. And gathering plants is actually good. It lets me be able to pick up food to feed the dwarves. I'm not sure if it gives you seeds or anything. I've never ever really got, or I'm not really paid enough attention. I'm assuming that it does, but I don't know that for sure. So that's kind of one of those things. Alright, the other thing I'm going to do, I do have some animals with me, so I'm going to go ahead and designate up an area that I would like the animals to stay. That's going to be their patch of grass to be used. So that's just a zone here that I'm making, that you can pen and pasture the animals, and then I'm adding my animals to the pen and pasture, so that those are the ones that go there. You can actually individually tell them what animals that you want them to send to different places, which kind of helps you out a little bit so that you're not like over, because you can make your animals like overgraze an area if you do. If you kind of do a lot of work on that, and it's not good if you really want more, you know, grazing done and stuff. Alright, so they've mined out this area, which is, you know, perfect actually. So now I'm going to designate out some digging to be done. I actually do need some digging done. So I'm going to make an area 3 wide. And the reason is that there's actually, and you can see I'm just pretty much highlighting in the areas I want them to dig. The reason is because I want a 3 wide area here, and then I want an area here to be designated as my trade depot. Now, whenever I was starting the intro to this, it said that there was a caravan coming in winter, or right before the winter comes, and that's actually going to happen. There will be an actual caravan, and the caravan is going to be dwarven. I can tell now just because if I check the civilizations, which is the C key, I can see the different civilizations we know about. It means that there's a dwarven caravan scheduled to come here right before winter. So I do know that that will be coming here in a little bit. Now, what it looks like is that I found clay here, which clay is actually good. It's a good area for you to actually farm in while you're underground, which means I can start at very least a farm down in here somewhere. So that's actually kind of nice to have found that. We're going to see what the rest of this area looks like, because I may have a farm on this level and then move down to the lower levels to actually make workshops. Workshops and stuff are basically places where you have your dwarves making stuff like crafts, you know, beds, chairs, all kinds of stuff that you actually need to live in. You can use I can have a carpentry shop up here without a problem, just because there's actually, you know, a lot of logs that are going to be cut down and a whole bunch of stuff, which I'm not quite sure where my dwarf is that should be doing any of this stuff. Okay, I just got stung by a honeybee. That's pretty awesome, I guess. This is not going well. This is not going well at all. I just got stung by honey. Really? This is what's happening now, huh? What am I up to? Oh, cool. I'm a chick. Let's see. What is going on? That's interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what all... Oh, there's a fox and a skunk out here, huh? You're still young. Thank you. I love that. Love to see that. Okay. So I got stung by a honeybee, apparently. Alright, so my dwarves are not doing what they should be doing. There's actually a way I can tell what's going on with that. So, this is Dwarf Therapist. Oh. Okay, so this is Dwarf Therapist. Dwarf Therapist actually shows me like what my dwarves are up to, what their skills are and stuff, which I actually want to show numbers. Okay. So I have a miner here. There's somebody who's good at carpentry, wood cutting, who the person who's doing wood cutting is also gathering plants right now. So that's kind of why he's not out there doing that. There should be a person who is, yeah, cutting the trees and wood cutting. So really, since you're not doing anything, I can actually individually tell things what to do and what not to do. So I'm actually going to add in some work here. So I have some dwarfies that are actually doing work rather than just fucking walking around and doing whatever the hell they want. Alright, so now we actually have a little bit here. So now let's dig, because we're going to need to dig into the mountainside. We must delve too deep. It's always how it is. Okay, so this is something I always try to do, is I try to make a decent area to farm in. And I'm not sure how big of an area I can farm in here, because I don't know if this is all clay, because if this is clay, this is actually going to be really good. This is going to make it easy. Minus the fact that I have to dig down in to find certain things, but that's fine, whatever. I don't care about that. I would rather just have the ability to have clay. That's just going to make things really simple. Also, do I have another miner? I don't, and I need one. Okay, I'm going to be mining. Cool. Alright. Rather than having one miner, I'm going to have two miners. This is going to make things a lot quicker. So there I am, by the way, if you didn't know. That must be me because, you know, I'm the other miner now. And I'm going to be gaining some skills and stuff in mining as I'm doing this. I have no experience whatsoever in mining. Which is pretty common for my real life too. I have absolutely no experience in mining. My little brother actually has a lot of experience in mining, but I do not. He's actually a coal miner, which is entertaining for me because, you know, I do a lot of mining in video games, and you know, I do a lot of Minecraft. I play a lot of different kind of games like that. And my little brother, being who he is, you know, he doesn't play a whole lot of video games himself, but just because, you know, I've been a soldier for quite a few years now, it's entertaining for me because there's a lot of video games about being a soldier, and there's not nearly as many video games about being a miner and stuff like that. But it turns out that I don't play any games about being a soldier. I really play them more about being a miner, which, you know, my little brother's way better at that kind of stuff than I am, apparently. But yeah, I find that kind of funny, really. Alright, so there is plenty of clay here, which is actually perfect. So there's a couple things I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to build a farm plot because I need a place to farm. So let's go ahead and make this the maximum size it can be, which I think is just about there. Cool. And then let's expand this out. So let's fill up this border here. And that's going to be my new farm plot. Let's also dig out because I'm going to need to get downwards. So let's go ahead and start my downward stairway because we're going to need this area here. Whenever I go down, I'm going to need up downs. So whenever you actually make stairways, the problem is that you can make stairways all you want, but you have to make a stairway above it and below it, which doesn't really work if you are in certain cases. Oh, yes. Okay, so we found rock. Lots of rock. That's perfect. Okay. So that's actually awesome because there's rock right below here. This is going to make this way easier. Alright. So the farm construction is nearly done. I don't know why exactly it stopped. Oh, it didn't. It's just they're taking their time. I thought it was stopped because nothing was moving, but it wasn't really anything. Alright. So, I like this level, I think. Let me double check, see what... Orthoclase? I don't know what that is. So, nice wall. And Galena. That's pretty awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll work on this Galena level, because I actually like that. Alright, just because I like the name, I guess. I don't know. Don't judge me. I get enough fucking judging for myself. Don't fucking judge me. I'm just doing things the way I kind of enjoy doing things. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and build a happy little area here. And some little offshoots over here. Alright, so I want to... Oh, and I want some offshoots this way. Yeah. Alright, so I like 3 wide doorways just because they're kind of freaking nice. Alright, so I think we're going to go this way. Oh, shoot. Let's go to here. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. So I like to make bedrooms. Because my dwarfies like to have a place to sleep. So this is going to be their apartment complex. Makes it easy. Ah, shoot. And I messed up again. God damn it. I hate whenever I do this. Alright, so... Let's see. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 space. 1, 2, 3. I think this is it. Okay. Nope. Yeah, we'll just leave it there, because there would be something I can do with that. Alright. So we're going to dig out some areas here. Because of the way this has to be done. We're going to go ahead and dig out this. We're going to have a lot of work to do. Now this is kind of in the pause mode again, where we're just pretty much doing a whole lot of small little taskings, which is just kind of ordering up what taskings I want. So this is going to be 10 different bedrooms here, which actually will be 9 bedrooms and an office. So that's actually going to be a nice place to go. The other place that I need to make while I'm over here is going to be a dining room / meeting hall. Now, a dining room / meeting hall, the bigger it is, the happier they are. The nicer it is, the happier they are. So you can tell that big and nice equals happy dwarves. Happy dwarves mean that you just don't have to deal with a lot more of their bullshit, which goddamn they have enough of it as it is. Alright, so that's a pretty big freaking dining hall actually. So that'll actually be nice. The other thing we're going to make, because dining halls are nice, but they're going to need a place to actually make tables and stuff. So we're going to make a crafting area. Which, actually I'm going to go ahead and do that. And do that there. That way we're going to have two large area to actually do your crafting in. So that'll be a decent area to do crafting in. And because of the way this is done, we're going to need a pretty large area actually up in here. This is going to be our storage area for goods. So it's going to offset that a little bit, which is kind of nice. And then up above this is where we're actually going to do our food storage, so the kitchen and all that good stuff will be upstairs of this, so it's going to make that a little bit easier to get to, just because that's the way I like to do things. I don't know what I want to do with this area yet, but I suppose I could probably just wait and figure out what's going to go on with all this good stuff, because it's going to take them a while to do this anyway. So let's go ahead and have them start working. In the process of that, I tend to want to get plum helmets planted. The reason is because you can use them they can be planted at all times of the year, and unlike dimple cups, which can also be planted at all times of the year, they can be brewed into alcohol, which is kind of a big thing for dwarves. Dwarves love alcohol, like many of us do, and therefore they do need to have it. I'm also going to make some downward stairways here, just to make a kitchen area. So we're going to go ahead and make that now. Alright. And then dig out this area here and dig this area into a decent little area there. Okay, so that's perfect. So now we have some areas that can be dugouts. In the process, we're going to go ahead and dig out this area as well, because this is where this is going to let out. And this area is going to be our food storage. So let's go ahead and start that up now with a whole bunch of different access points. And then over here will also be our seed storage, which doesn't have to be nearly as big, but we'll make it kind of big. Alright. So now we have our dudes down here, and they're just working the fuck away. And that person is planting and growing some food. So while we're at it, let's go ahead and build a workshop, a carpentry workshop, because we're going to need some stuff here. Not quickly, but we're going to need some. So we have some nice there that can work into a carpentry piece. We'll send our dwarf after that, because they got work to do anyway. So, and that way we actually already have stuff working. Ooh, pink garnet. Alright, that's pretty cool. Alright, so we got quite a bit of good stuff going on here. And the video is running a bit long, so I'm figuring we're going to go ahead and take a short halt here. We'll end up picking this up a little bit more later on, but since we have our dwarfies working like hell, and we have a little bit of a layout of our fort here, we'll go ahead and take a quick breather. Get some fresh air and all that stuff, and we'll be back soon. So I'll catch you in the next video. Later.